Hello, and welcome to the Creative Healing Podcast. My name is Grant Davis. For those of you who watched my original video delving into my lessons, you may be asking why I have chosen to post an audio version instead. That is a great question. And my excuse is my pure, unabashed laziness. I am sure some of you creatives out there know the work that goes into filming good, quality content. Setting up lights and sound and having to take a shower and look somewhat presentable. And I hope those creatives, as well as my other listeners, can understand why I have chosen to create content and record just the audio of my lessons in the comfort of my own room. Or, in today's case, cuddled up in my bed. This will also allow these lessons to become an extension of the podcast, which that's really my goal with my YouTube endeavors. And I hope that you all are cool with that change. Let me know, or don't let me know, because I know I'm going to enjoy it that much more. And it'll be a lot more gratifying for me in that way in the end. Hopefully that's the case for my listeners as well. Let's dive in, shall we? Today we're going to talk about love. And for those of you who saw my original video, we're going to be talking about love again. But I promise, I have rewritten this lesson. This is my favorite lesson, so I've rewritten it a couple times. And I promise it is worth the listen. So we're going to talk about love, but really I'm going to go on a rant about love. We all want to be loved. We all want to love within this life, right? Whether romantically, familially, platonically, or selfishly, we are always efforting towards love. When I originally wrote this lesson, I believed that it was pretty common that people were being asked how to define love. But I have found that it's not as common as I once believed. And I think at the time I also believed that it was an unfair question or it was a dumb question. But I now consider it an invaluable question. The only difference now is I don't believe that there is a universal answer. See, I believe that each person has a different definition of the word love, and I know I do. So today I'm going to tell you a little story about how I stumbled upon my own personal definition of the word love. So I was living in LA. I was living in LA at the time, and I went on 2 dates with this guy. And we're going to call him Alan. His real name isn't Alan, but we're going to call him Alan. And in the middle of our second date, he very honestly told me that he no longer wanted to see me. He was no longer interested in pursuing this. First of all, I'm not afraid to admit that that is his loss. Your boy's a total catch. And secondly, and more importantly, as I saw Alan come into the moment and embrace his vulnerability, it allowed me to take a moment as well and open up my heart. And that's when the fun part began, the real fun part. Taking in that moment, I was able to connect with my truest self and my personal intuition enough to ask for what I want. I asked for what I want. I requested that we fully finish this date. You know, I wanted to kiss, I wanted to touch, I wanted to talk within the acceptance and the knowing that this moment would end. The moment eventually did come to an end. And as I kissed him for the last time and I walked to my car, I was sobbing. I was sad. I was a sad boy in that moment. But I also found myself feeling thankful that I was able to be present enough to meet him in the moment. I felt this feeling of pride, I guess, for asking him in the moment for what I wanted. This experience with Alan, it helped me figure out how I define this word love. So I certainly did not love this man. At the time, I barely knew him. But the moments that we spent together were so connected. They were so full that I believed that I did not need any more. And to some extent, I believed I did not want any more because these moments were enough. Now we're going to circle back to that idea here in a second, because recently those events changed, and I spoke to Alan again, and I found that all of those feelings came rushing back. And it made me question this very idea of love. Oh my gosh, I've defined love, and now I'm going back on it because I want more moments with him. I was kind of, after seeing him, I was kind of decompressing with a friend of mine, and I realized that it's okay to still want those moments. But that doesn't change the fact that I see the necessity of those moments ending. It's been some time since I've seen him last, and I'm still grateful that I had those final moments, but life moves on. Those moments end, as does the next one, and the next one, and the next one. But that certainly doesn't take anything away from the moments that we spent together. I've realized to some extent that this is the kind of connection that I want in my life. You know, I don't want moments that last forever. We've heard it in being said in a million movies, and we've heard it sung in a million songs. But truthfully, I want to live so presently that I see the necessity of moments ending, and that I can live in peace with that ending. In short, how do I define love? To love means to accept the moment. Any moment. To accept and live in the moment so fully that you are satiated enough to find peace and not needing any more. And if you are truly one with this moment, you may also gain the opportunity to ask the moment for what you want. And in return, becoming attuned to what the moment is telling you that you need. You don't have to enjoy the moment. You don't even have to like it. Look, some moments with those that we love and doing what we love will be painful. And this is applicable to our journey with self-love, both in our everyday lives, but also in this crazy business that we are all trying to pursue a sense of creativity in. Learning how to search inward for sanctity in these trying moments of our lives is one of the most invaluable skills that we can refine. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself when all else falls away. This is a quote from one of my favorite poems, The Invitation by Araya Mountain Dreamer. And I think it's applicable to understanding how we find self-love and self-acceptance when facing adversarial moments, and how it allows us to build a sense of power that can be used to accept future moments of despair. This is resilience. This is how I define resilience. You know, working within this industry requires a true sense of self-love and an even truer sense of resilience. We owe it to ourselves to recognize that we are not our harmful thoughts. We are not our fearful feelings. We are not our poor actions. We are not our poor actions. We are the light within us that continues to shine when the moments offered are filled with darkness. I'm going to say that again because I like it a lot. We are the light within us that continues to shine when the moments offered are filled with darkness. Look, if we choose to relish in the moments that we have left by accepting the pain that comes along with those moments, in my mind, there is no greater act of love. In my mind, there is no greater act of self-love. The moment can be outright treacherous and terrifying, but by the very acceptance of the moment, you're living in its infinite love. So I have a question that I ask my students as actors, but I'm curious how it's applicable to creatives, all creatives across the board, and how they experience love. Question being, how does this apply to the work that we do on stage or in front of a camera? And that question can be applied to dancers in a dance studio, or painters staring at a canvas, or cameramen looking through a lens, or even parents looking down at their child. I believe that if we are truly present through our craft, in my case, teaching, but in any form of creativity, we may have the opportunity to more graciously give love and receive love. As we likely know, as we likely all know, as lovers ourselves, giving love and receiving love can allow us the chance to grow into more connected and powerful individuals. Why would that be any different when it comes to creativity? We can live within the love of the moment for all the people that we creatively collaborate with. But most importantly, we can do this for ourselves. And I promise, I don't say that a lot, but I promise this will lead to stronger and more fulfilling work. This stronger work is achieved through the gift of the present. That's why they call it that, because the present is a gift. I know that's cheesy as hell. I know you've heard it before. I'm not claiming that is mine. Still a fact. The present is a gift. We don't need an effort towards love, because if we live within the present, it's a gift that's offered unto us. Ugh. Your boy Grant needs to take his own advice right now. I'll finish with this final thought. Love is a gift, but it is also an ability. And when we ground ourselves in the moment through our artistry, we then respectfully accept that gift and strengthen both our creative ability and our loving ability. So I'm going to go and strengthen my loving and creative ability. My name is Grant Davis. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next time on the Creative Healing Podcast.